have that, muster the courage to come over here. And those who are joining online, all of you are most welcome. So we'll start with a small video, like few minutes. That must. Yeah. So after that, we'll have readings. Yes.
Appeared before Sharda Ma to communicate a very important truth to her. The time of this vision was when Sri Ramakrishna was close to giving up his body. In his infinite compassion, Sri Ramakrishna had taken up many people's sins upon himself, and as a result, he had gotten afflicted with throat cancer. If you want to learn more about this, watch the earlier video, Why Did Sri Ramakrishna Get Cancer? So while Sri Ramakrishna's body was working out the karmic sins of devotees, during that time Sharda Ma had a profound vision. One day she was sitting in her room thinking of Sri Ramakrishna's poor health when she saw a dark complexioned woman with long flowing hair come in and sit beside her. Sharda Ma immediately exclaimed, "Oh, it's you, Ma Kali." The Divine Mother replied, "Yes, I have come from Dakshineshwar," meaning that she had come from the Dakshineshwar Kali temple where Sri Ramakrishna had spent much of his life worshipping her. Ma Kali conversed with Shardama for a while. Suddenly, Shardama noticed something strange about Ma Kali's neck. She asked her, "Why is your neck bent sideways, mother?" "Because of the sore in the throat." How strange, Shardama wondered. "You have a sore in the throat, and so does Sri Ramakrishna." "Yes," replied Mother Kali. Immediately, Shardama understood that Ma Kali and Sri Ramakrishna were one and the same. It was to convey this truth that Ma Kali had paid a visit to Shardama.
I'm going to give you my number one tip to get up.
So we are starting our program. Actually, it is from 11 o'clock. So it is in the beginning so that everybody are ready. And we'll start in a few minutes. But before that, let us read out some of the teachings of Holy Mother, Sri Sharda Devi. God is one's very own. It is an eternal relationship. Ordinary human love insults in misery. Love for God brings blessedness. One who makes a habit of prayer will easily overcome all difficulties. You see, like Holy Mother has had a special way to convey. So what she said, God is one's very own. It is not that God is somewhere else, sitting somewhere on the seventh heaven, but God sits within us. And it is eternal relationship. It is not that it is temporary and now it is relationship is there and later it will stop. But this is our, because this is our only relationship with God. And secondly, ordinary human love results in misery. We see in the world whatever we like today, the same thing may not be liked tomorrow. So in relationship also it happens, but this does not happen with God. Then Holy Mother said, "My child, you have been extremely fortunate in getting this human birth. Have intense devotion to God. One must work hard. Can one achieve anything without effort? You must devote some time for prayer, even in the midst of the busiest hours of the day." So this is because that we are divine. Divinity is our normal state of mind. We cannot exist without that connection of divinity. That is why we must connect with our divine nature. Do the master's work, and along with that, practice spiritual disciplines. Work helps one to keep off idle thoughts. So that's another reason why we should work incessantly. And not only she said this, she practiced in her own life. So to do the master's work, even Ramakaj, Hanumanji, a great devotee of God, devoted all his life for the services of Rama. So do the master's work, and along with that, practice spiritual discipline too. Work helps one keep off idle thoughts. If one is without work, such thoughts rush into one's mind. So this is what she taught us. There are so many other quotations that we'll read later, but let us, now it is almost time. And we'll start with a chanting, and then various readers are there. They will read portion of the life of Holy Mother, Sri Sharda Devi. This will be our tribute to Mother on the birth anniversary occasion of Sri Sharda Devi. See, I cannot see here who are the Jyotima is there. Okay, so
Yes,
Jyotima,
Swamiji.
please start.
Yeah. Swamiji will do 3 Shanti mantras. Mahalakshmi ji, Ramya and myself.
Very good.
सहनवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ भद्रं कर्णे शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनोभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ तच्छयोरावृणीमहे गातुयज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वञ्जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
So after Shanti Mantra, then I'll request Ramya to read from her childhood days.
Pranam Swami, Pranam everybody. I'm going to read a letter that resonated very deeply with me. Hope everybody can hear you. So this encompasses the life of Holy Mother and of course her whole life, including childhood through. So this was written by Swami Tyagananda on Mother's Day, but I thought I want to share this with everybody because every day is a Mother's Day. So the name of this letter is I Have a Mother. At first glance, Holy Mother appears an unlikely figure to inspire courage, boldness, enterprise, determination qualities generally associated with manliness. One might say that Vivekananda is the right person to inspire these qualities in others, and he does. But that's not the point here. As humans, we need to meet life's challenges squarely and boldly, and Holy Mother shows us how to do it. When we read her life mindfully and meditate on it, we see an extraordinarily strong human being brimming with confidence, full of faith in herself and her ideal, and sure of what she was doing every moment of her life. What's more, she makes us feel we too can be like her. It's not just a matter of feeling like that. We do imbibe Mother's qualities when we become her children in truest sense of term. How does that come about, this becoming her true child? Simply by doing what she wants us to do. In other words, becoming an obedient child. Obedience is not always a virtue, does not always produce salutary results. A lot depends on whom we are obedient to. There is no danger in being an obedient child of Holy Mother. We have everything to gain and nothing to lose except our ignorance, bondage, and fear. Those amongst us whose spiritual lives are influenced by the power and light of Sri Ramakrishna's wisdom are Holy Mother's children. Ramakrishna himself was Mother's child, not just Mother Kali, but also Holy Mothers. So it's a good reminder to the video we just saw. He said he saw no distinction between Mother Kali, worshipped in the temple, his biological mother Chandramani Devi, and his wife Sharada Devi. When asked how she looked upon Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother once admitted, as my child. Everyone who is associated with the Ramakrishna tradition is a Holy Mother's child, because she is the mother that powers, preserves, and guides the tradition. The story of the Ramakrishna tradition is the story of sacrifice, courage, faith, dedication, devotion, and determination. It is the story of Holy Mother's children who are armed with her assurance. Do not fear, my child. Always remember that the Master is behind you. I am also with you. As long as you remember me, your mother, why should you be afraid of? Why should you be frightened? Whoever has come here, whoever is my child, is already redeemed. Destiny dare not throw my children into hell. Free yourself from all anxiety by entrusting your future to me. Never fear. Whenever you are in distress, just say to yourself, I have a mother. I have a mother. I have a mother is a mantra not just for the children in distress. It is for all of Mother's children for all occasion. Holy Mother makes everything possible. She really does it all by herself. But she liked to make her children feel she gets everything done through them. Her children knows this, so they remain free from anxiety, jealousy, pride, and hatred. Freedom from these fill them with love and understanding, peace and joy. In whatever they think, whatever they say, whatever they do, they never forget the mantra, I have a mother. That helps. Every time we remember, I have a mother, we hear Mother saying, yes, you are my child. Thank you.
Now Kavita Goldwich will read from a devotee's memoirs or two Swami's memoirs. Go ahead.
Namaste, everyone. So I'm going to read firsthand experiences of two devotees of the Holy Mother. One is Swami Arupananda, who was known as Rash Bihari Maharaj, and the other one is Swami Ishanananda, was called Brahmachari Bharada. And just their direct experience with them, with Holy Mother, and some ideas about how she was, living in Jairambati and her lifestyle, etc. So the first one I'll read is from this book called In the Company of the Holy Mother. This is Swami Arupananda's first meeting of the Holy Mother. So he had come traveling a long distance to visit her with full of faith in his heart. And as soon as he came, Mother inquired about his journey, and she asked him to go take a bath, and then she gave him some food prepared by her own hands. So I'll just read some pieces from there. After the midday offerings, she sent for me and with her own hands gave me food before anyone else. She served the rice and other dishes on sal leaves. I sat on her own veranda and ate. Be sure to eat your fill, my son, she said. Afterwards, she gave me betel. When I came again in the afternoon between 3 and 4, I saw her sitting on the floor in a corner of the veranda before her room, her feet stretched out, kneading dough. Beside her, there was a small coal fire on which the afternoon refreshments were to be made. Did you want anything? Mother asked when she saw me. I should like to have a few words with you, I replied. What about? Do sit down. She placed a carpet seat for me. People say that the Master was the true and perfect Godhead. What do you say? I asked. Yes, to me he was such. Well, I said, every husband is so to his own wife. I didn't ask in that sense. Yes, he was so in every way, Mother answered. I thought to myself that if the Mother was such, if the Master was such, Holy Mother must be the mother of the world. Sita cannot be separated from Rama, nor Radha from Krishna. I had come to see her in the first place with this faith. Then why do I see you like this, rolling out dough like an ordinary woman? I inquired. What is the meaning of it all? Is it all an illusion? So it is, Mother said. Or why should I be here like this? The gods play in human guise. Shri Krishna was a milkman's son. Rama was Dasharatha's son. Do you never remember your real state? I asked. Yes, sometimes I do. Then I say to myself, what am I doing? What am I doing? Then all of a sudden, this house, these children, they all come back to my mind and I forget. I would go and sit near Mother almost every evening. Radhu, Mother's niece, would be sleeping beside her. A lamp winked on the little stand in the room. Sometimes a maid would be rubbing oil on Mother's feet for her rheumatism. In the course of our conversation, Mother said, whenever I think of a particular disciple and yearn after him, he either arrives here or he writes to me. Are you the mother of all? I asked. Yes, I am. Of these dumb beasts as well? Yes, theirs as well. Then why do they suffer like this? They were born to this state. We were talking in the Mother's room one evening when she said, well, you have come here. Why should you have done so if we didn't belong to each other? Then I belong to you? I asked. So you do. Throughout the ages, those who belong together appear together. A little later, she said, we shall meet again in our subtle forms. I know that she meant we should be together after death. And then Mother said, Mother, I said quite casually, if you make yourself responsible for all those whom you initiate, then when we ask anything for ourselves, why do you say, I shall tell the Master, can't you do anything by yourself? I myself had not as yet felt any urge for initiation. But I have taken charge of you, Mother replied. Give me your blessings, Mother, I said, so that my heart may become pure and be filled with devotion. Mother, I knew a boy at school. I should be happy if I could give the Master 1/4 of the love I gave that boy. Is that so, my son? She said. Well, I shall tell the Master about it. Why do you always say that? I replied. Are you being apart from him? It will be enough if you give me your blessings. My son, Holy Mother said, if my blessings have the power to give you complete realization, then I bless you with all my heart. How can one love God without seeing him? I asked. Quite so, Mother replied. Who can make friends with the wind? When shall I see him, Mother? I asked. You will, my son, Mother said. You will see him when the time comes. So that's a little excerpt from Swami Arupananda, his first visit with the Holy Mother, and all the questions that he had in his mind. Some of the questions seems like what we might want to ask Mother as well. So it's kind of neat that he asked, and he got some responses from her. And the second piece I'm going to read is from Swami Ishanananda, that's Brahmachari Bharada. He met Holy Mother when he was 10 years old in Kolpara. When Mother used to travel from Calcutta to Jairambati, she stopped at Kolpara, and the villagers there would give her refreshments, give her a place to rest, and then she would go to Jairambati. And he was a little boy that did lots of errands for her. Then he stayed with her for years in Jairambati and became like her son. So this is from the last 10, 15 years of Mother's life. This is a typical day in Mother's life, at least in the last 10, 15 years. So this is from the book, My Blessed Days with the Holy Mother. Mother's routine while at Jairambati. Holy Mother would wake up at 3 in the morning every day and complete her morning chores. After changing clothes, she would wake the master up by picking up the picture of Sri Ramakrishna and wipe his face with a tiny wet cloth. She would then perform japa sitting on her bed and then lie down. When she woke up, hearing the sounds of Radhu's child, we too would wake up and after washing ourselves and changing clothes, enter her room, prostrate before her and the master, and then sit on the floor for some time performing japa for a while in silence. On some days, Mother would perhaps utter the name of a deity and ask us to perform japa, giving us the bija mantra of that particular deity. When the sun dawned, Mother would come out of her room and drink a little of the water in which the coriander, chickpeas, etc. were soaked daily for her morning consumption. She would then sit down to cut vegetables. We too would sit beside her and assist her. Devotees who were first-time visitors would come to Mother at this time to offer their pranams and then sit nearby. There was a pet parrot in the Mother's house named Gangaram. Early in the morning and at dusk, Mother would ask Gangaram, "My dear Gangaram, chant, my dear, chant." And Gangaram would quickly respond by singing, "Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram." Since Mother would call us by our names all the time, Gangaram learned them too. Frequently, he would call us by our names, just as Mother would have done. Sometimes he would imitate Mother's request to him, "Dear Gangaram, chant." And then as if in reply, he would start chanting, "Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram." And then he uttered the word Ram in a loud and prolonged tone. Whenever Gangaram cried out, "Mother, Mother, oh Mother," Mother would come running and respond, "I'm coming, my dear," because she knew he was hungry and his feeding bowl was empty. Around 9 o'clock in the morning, Mother would sit for worshipping the master and Gopala after wiping herself with a wet cloth or a bath in the pond. If there were any aspirants waiting to be initiated, they were given Diksha after the worship was over. We were given prasad after worship in small sal leaves. She would then have sugar candy, water, along with a handful of puffed rice or parched rice available, and arrange the meals for Radhu and others. When Mother cut vegetables, Radhu at times would come and sit near her. After supervising the preparations in the kitchen, Mother would sit down to prepare betel leaves, almost 200 of them. And then let's see here. On some days after dusk, when I would read out to Holy Mother from the 3rd volume of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the scenes from Dakshineshwar and the Master's conversations and teachings would make us feel at times that Holy Mother was none other than the Master himself. Those devotees who came from far used to sit with Mother even at that time and talk to her very intimately. Around 1:30 in the afternoon, the cook aunt would come and say, "Mother, cooking is done. Come and offer it to the Master." Washing her hands and feet and taking the panchapatra, the water pot, from the room, Mother would say, turning towards the Master, "Food is ready. Come and have." Calling the Master thus, Mother would take him to the kitchen with her, as it were. Some rice and vegetables were arranged in a corner of the same stone plate used by Mother, and she would offer them to the Master in the kitchen itself. She would then supervise the preparations for Radhu and her son, and then she would sit down for her meal. At times, she would cook herself 1 or 2 dishes and serve it hot, sitting beside us. Mother would say, "If one partakes Mahaprasad of Goddess Simhavahini, one acquires strength. So eat, my dear." As mother had a bile disorder, which gave rise to a burning sensation all over her body, she preferred cooling foods that had cooling effect, like lentil curry made of kalai pulse. After lunch, mother used to clean her teeth. She used to clean in this manner once in the morning and after every meal. She would then rest for a while. After that, she would begin inquiring about all the needs of the household. On some days, either in the afternoon or evening, she would visit her brother's households and inquire about all their needs. She would make a list of the articles that had to be brought from the store, and then she would take the money out of her box. About 3 or 4 in the afternoon, she would wash her clothes and then sit down to cut vegetables for dinner. That was the time when all the other women in the household went to the Barunjie pond to wash their clothes. At that time, Hari and I would be sit inside with the mother, and she would give us instructions on everyone's night meal. On some evening, the assembly of village women would come, and they would have enjoyable discussions about various incidents that happened long ago in the recent past or in the recent past. Holy Mother herself did not speak much, but she would mostly listen. She would endorse a story by simply being reticent, or sometimes she would speak a little to clarify on the topics. The topics range from Mother's birth story, Master's birth story, humorous interaction between Master and Banu aunt, imitation of the Master stammering, and his bond of friendship with his mother-in-law. A little before dusk, we would wash ourselves and render our pranams to Mother. Then we would knead about 2½ seers of wheat flour and make roti, luchis, vegetable curry for Mother, and boil some milk. Holy Mother then performed arati using a lamp with 1 wick. And I observed that she continued her japa even while lying down towards the end of her life. Towards the end, she would perform japa all the time under all conditions. Sometimes even late at night when I went to call Mother for some purpose, she always responded immediately. Mother used to go to bed around 11 o'clock at night. I asked her one day, Mother, haven't you slept yet? Are you not getting sleep? Mother replied, what else can I do, dear? The children eagerly come asking for initiation, and happily they receive the mantra and go back. But many do not perform japa as instructed. Why, as instructed? Some do not perform japa at all. Now that I've taken their responsibility, I myself will have to take care of them. Isn't it, my son? That is why I repeat the name and pray to the Master on their behalf, saying, O Master, bestow them with illumination, liberation, and you yourself take care of their here and hereafter. There's so much misery and suffering in this world. Talking in this manner, she would gradually get up and sit and then continue. They take the mantra with so much earnestness, but then why don't they do anything afterwards? Why should it be so difficult? Even by practicing a little with perseverance, they will feel so much bliss. Ah, how much japa Yogin Ma and myself would joyfully perform while at Vrindavan. Flies would sit on our eyes and nose, making sores, but we did not even feel them. Those were the days. So Mother's Day, the typical day ended around 11:30, and then she, ended it with the whole night of japa and got up again at 3 in the morning. So that's the end of that. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Kavita. So one thing we noted here, when Mother took the responsibility, we have no fear to worry about. Mother does everything for us, but we should not be, lacking in our effort. We must put our effort. Then only it is fulfilling. Otherwise, we may not feel that, the divinity that is already within. As Mother said, God is our own, this eternal relationship. So that relationship must be experienced. That is why we should do our might. Mother will do, no, there is no doubt about it. But we also should continue doing whatever is instructed by our gurus. So that's number one. Previously, we have heard about her real nature. Most of the time, she would be engaged in day-to-day work. But then the question would come to her that why I am doing this, all this? What is the purpose? Who am I? And immediately would come, flash her divine nature, but again it go back. Because, incarnation is very important. Sri Ramakrishna is the center, and centering him, all others. You can see Holy Mother would give her food before taking herself to others. But the case of Sri Ramakrishna is different. The food is to be offered him first. So Sri Ramakrishna is the center, and Holy Mother, of course, one with Sri Ramakrishna. For that matter, whole order is with Sri Ramakrishna, but Sri Ramakrishna is the center. And Holy Mother's divinity that she remembered, we also can relate with ours. We also feel that we are not ordinary people. We are divine in nature. But then a blow comes from world and we are engaged, we are entangled. So we need to remember our divine nature time and again. Of course, it will be hampered, but again, let us not forgive totally. Let us remind our real nature. And how to do that? By continuing the japam that she used to do. Like that, we have to do our japam, our effort. So after this, I'll request Vinata Bhattacharya, how mother spent her days in Kolkata and in Jairam Bati, settling in two places, and how she lived in difficult situation, and even malaria-infested village. That will hear from Vinata Bhattacharya.
Thank you. Namaste all. I hope you can hear me well. Okay, so I'm going to read in Calcutta and at Jairamvati, Life of Sri Sarada Devi, from the book of A Short Life of the Holy Mother. Holy Mother, during the early period of her life in Calcutta, would stay in rented houses at various places. For short visits, she would put up at the houses of devotees like Balaram Bose or M., the celebrated author of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Sometimes she lived on the western side of the Ganga, once at Ghusuri and twice at Nilambar Mukherjee's garden house. She used to say that from her younger days, she had a great love for the Ganga. While staying at Nilambar Mukherjee's garden, along with her companion, Yagin Ma, she performed the Panchatapa austerity, which consists in sitting for japa and meditation amidst 5 fires, 4 blazing on 4 sides and the summer sun above, from morning to evening for 7 consecutive days. The mother passed through this fiery ordeal successfully. In this house again, once she had a strange vision. She saw that Sri Ramakrishna was walking into the Ganga. As he was doing so, his body melted into the water, and Swami Vivekananda began to sprinkle that holy water on innumerable people. This vision made such a vivid impression on her mind that for many days she could not bathe in the river, considering its holiness. It was in 1909 that Swami Saradananda built a permanent home for her in Calcutta at the present number 1 Udbodhan Lane. Now, when in Calcutta, the Holy Mother would stay here. This house, bearing the sacred memory and association of the Holy Mother, is known as the Mother's House to innumerable devotees and disciples of the Ramakrishna order. To how many aspiring souls did she give initiation here? Many are the persons who came weary and heavy laden to have their lacerated hearts soothed and got infinite solace. When the mother would be here, all who stayed in the house and all who visited could get access, as it were, into a world which cannot be reached even by hard tapasya. Now she is physically absent, but the association of her memory with the spot is a source of divine inspiration to thousands of devotees who did not have the privilege of seeing her in her lifetime. While in Calcutta, the Holy Mother was the center of spiritual attraction to all. But when she would go to her parental home at Jayrambati, she would adjust herself so well to the home atmosphere that her relations could hardly realize what a great spiritual personality she was. She was there, the familiar sister to her brothers, taking anxious care of them, and the same Sarada to the elderly village woman who had known her from her childhood. Her adjustment was natural and spontaneous. It was with reference to this characteristic that Sri Ramakrishna once humorously remarked that she was like a cat that hid its color in ashes. At Jayrambati, she would be seen working very hard just like any other woman in a poor village family. So long as her mother was alive, she assisted her in everything. When she died, the Holy Mother, being the eldest sister, virtually became the guardian of the family. This meant not only responsibility, but also considerable annoyance. The youngest of her brothers, who had some education, died prematurely. The three other brothers were entirely different from their sister. When one saw them, one wondered if they could really be relatives of Holy Mother. Without education or culture, narrow-minded and selfish, they judged everything in terms of money, quarreling among themselves, even over petty things. They made the life of the Holy Mother unbearable and taxed her patience to the utmost. But she bore everything with superhuman calmness. Apart from her spiritual attainments, for the way in which she maintained her inner peace amidst the volcanic fury that raged around her at Jayrambati, she should to be considered one of the greatest saints. One day, two of her brothers quarreled most ignominiously over some petty property. The Holy Mother came to pacify them, but when she returned to her room, she began to laugh, as if she had witnessed great fun, and remarked, "They fight for such small things and do not consider that at death everything will be left behind." She had not only to take care of her brothers, but also of her brothers' children, whom she had to bring up with her own hand. Nalini, Maku, and Radhu, three of her nieces, were her constant companions. And there was Surabala, the widow of her youngest brother, who, for her craziness, was known as the mad aunt, and who was ever a source of trouble to the Holy Mother. Her brothers found in her sister, whose affection could be exploited in terms of material advantage, and her nieces found in her an aunt who would tolerate any amount of their pranks and eccentricities and fulfill any of their demands. None of them realized that much higher things could be had from her. Once she remarked, They always ask for money. Even through mistake, they do not ask for knowledge and devotion. After passing away of the master, when the Holy Mother had been brooding over her lot and feeling that she had no further interest in life, she had a vision of Sri Ramakrishna. She saw a little girl with a red cloth walking in front of her, and the master, pointing to the child, said, "Cling to her as a support." Some years after, once, while she was seated at Jairambati, she saw the insane widow of her youngest brother walking with her neglected infant daughter Radhu, crawling behind. As the Holy Mother witnessed the pathetic sight, she felt a peculiar sensation in her heart. She at once rushed to the spot and took Radhu in her arms. As she did this, she saw the vision of the Master who appeared before her and said, "Cling to this child as your mental support on earth. She is Maya." From this time on, the Holy Mother showed the utmost interest in this girl, and Radhu found in the mother the embodiment of all earthly love. But as the girl grew up, she proved herself hardly worthy of the Holy Mother's love. She was a queer amalgam of obstinacy and innocence, craziness and simplicity. Being of poor health and debilitated mind, she was the constant source of anxiety to the mother. Radhu's behavior and mode of life would often be the cause not only of trouble but also of great embarrassment. But the Holy Mother's affection for her was, as it were, a tie that did not allow her mind to soar together beyond the earthly plane. Towards the end, when the Holy Mother lost all interest in Radhu, her attendants feared that she would not live long. Actually, she passed away soon after. Girish Chandra Ghosh, the greatest actor, dramatist, and a staunch devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, once remarked as he saw the brothers and relations of the Holy Mother, "These people must have practiced great tapasya in their past lives to deserve so much love and affection from the Holy Mother." This is true. Where hundreds of persons would consider it a life's privilege to be of the slightest service to the Holy Mother, her relatives actually received personal service from the Mother herself. Sri Ramakrishna, though a prince of monks, never forgot the slightest duty to his wife, and she too, in her turn, though adored and literally worshipped as the manifestation of divine power on earth, welcomed the drudgery, worries, and troubles involved in fulfilling her duties to her relatives, however unworthy they might have been of her love. Once she actually said to her brothers, "You got me as your sister only because of the pity of my father and mother." Thank you all.
Very good. What a life. Life of Holy Mother. Surrounded by so many people, all color and all hues. So mad ant in one end and the greedy brothers to the other. At the same time, the knower of Brahman, Sri Ramakrishna himself, and his direct disciples, all knower of Brahman. So what a wonderful life that mother lived. Sri Ramakrishna would not be able to live in such a situation. And the troubles that she faced was tremendous. So this is the purpose of the coming of an incarnation, It is easy to live in a life which is plentiful, which is full of joy, full of tranquility. But what happens if one is put in such a situation? And we find how mother interacted, keeping her cool, keeping her patience, and treating everyone accordingly with compassion. We may laugh at the greed of her brother, mamas. But what happens to us? Let us contemplate. Let us see ourselves. We are disturbed by little, if there is a little aberration, we are disturbed. And we cannot forget for years. But one has to see the life of Holy Mother and contemplate. And then we have to inculcate those qualities in our lives. Then only it is fulfilling. How Mother lived in that malaria-infested Jairambati, a simple life among villagers. And though she was full of renunciation for this world, but Thakur gave her the support of Radhu, embodiment of Maya, so that she clings here for the welfare of the devotees. We are so grateful. By seeing this divine life, then only we can practice in our own lives. So, after this, now I'll request Suji to read from the reminiscences of Mother.
Some reminiscences of Baba Tarini Devi, and she would say that she had a family relationship with both Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother. And a couple things before I start reading. When I say infant, in this context, it doesn't mean the most new form of baby. It actually means young child. So here's the reminiscences. When I was an infant, one day Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna, carried me from my parents' house to Dakshineshwar to live with Thakur and Ma, Sri Sarda Devi. I was not even able to talk distinctly then in my infancy. I was almost completely unable to speak. That's why I was named Havi, meaning one who cannot speak distinctly. Though I have come away from my own biological mother to the sheltered refuge of another mother, I felt no change. On the one hand, I received more care from Shrima, which is referring to Holy Mother, than my own mother from Jamapukur. Thakur, out of affection, named me Baba Tarini. Baba Tarini was the name of the deity installed in the temple. Shrima alternatively used to call me by the name Bhavi or Bhava Sundari. I never felt that I was missing my own mother, who was at Jamapukur. Under the instruction of Shrima, I always did a lot of work at Dakshineshwar. Shrima taught me how to work. She would say, Bhavi, go pluck flowers. Go wash the dishes used by Thakur. Go wash this piece of cloth in the pond and then put it on the fence for drying. Go and see what Thakur is doing now. She did not allow me to sit idle, and I obeyed her. Though Shrima would keep me engaged in work, it did not mean at all that I would be working continuously. I always did light work. At these times, I would listen to the wonderful talks of Shrima. She performed her daily worship at about 8 or 9 in the morning. I was designated to collect the necessary articles for the worship, pluck flowers, make sandal paste, pluck grass, collect tulsi and bell leaves, and then put them on the worship plate. Bell leaves must be the same size with no holes and any tears in them. Shrima's arrangements with the flower plate was something to be seen. The whole arrangement of the worship articles looked like a great display of fine artistry. Beginning with making the sandal paste and proceeding to arranging the flowers one by one on the plate, the whole process was an authentic artistic demonstration that was so beautiful that none could put it into words. The quickness and efficiency by which Shrima accomplished her work served as a strong ideal for others. Every action took the resemblance of artistry, including the slicing of fruits, preparing the betel leaf in its proper way, and so on. Anyone who happened to gaze upon the preparation process would simply become amazed. I was too young to understand all these things. However, Shrima taught me how to do all this work. Shrima used to live in a small room called the Nahabat Khana, but the entire household was organized immaculately. No wonder it appeared so easily resembling a place of divinity, superseding even the temple in its aesthetic beauty. Shrima's appearance would be completely changed as she would sit down to perform her worship in her room. She would not sit for a long time, but as long as she would be in her worship, an intense spiritual vibration would charge through the air, one that could be easily felt. My heart could not bear the vibration, and I would become fearful. At the end of the worship, Shrima would call me, "Bobby, where are you?" and say, "Bow down before Thakur and pray. Thakur, make me your own. Hold me by your hand." She would exclaim, pointing to the picture of Thakur in the worship place, "Do you understand? Look at Thakur carefully." I would recognize the picture of Ramakrishna, and in the beginning, I raised the objection. He is our own Thakur sitting in his room. When has he become God? Shrima would laugh and reply, "You don't need to know it right now. Whatever I say, follow it. Every day, do pranam to him twice. Do you understand? Get up early in the morning and go to Thakur's room. After touching his feet, do pranam." My reply was, "I'll follow it as you have taught me." As soon as I touched Thakur's feet, he would show his affection to me, saying, "Well, Baba Tarini, you need not do so much. It seems to me that you are quite happy here. The way you are living here, coming every now and then to me. Continue to do this and depend always on Shrima. You see, you will not need anything more for yourself." Shrima became extremely happy on hearing what he had said, and she affectionately kissed me on my head and gave me a handful of fruits and sweets. Thakur never slept much at night. On the other hand, he did not want others to sleep too much. Thakur would walk close to the screen on the door of the Nahabat Khana and call, "Lakshmi, Baba Tarini, get up. How long you sleep." Thakur's words were indirectly addressing Shrima. She would arise saying, "I am up." Thakur would walk toward the forest Panchavati. Shrima often would tell us, "You need not get up now, take a little more rest." I would try to take more rest by being on the bed. Occasionally sleep did not come, and I watched Shrima go out in the darkness of the night to the pond. Soon she would return. After hanging wet clothes up to dry, Shrima cleaned the picture of Thakur and then put it on an asana, a piece of cloth. Then she sat near the picture. Soon Shrima lost outward consciousness. It seemed to me that someone else was sitting there in her place. The other lady devotees or Lakshmi Didi would be in the room. Shrima would get up early and tell me, "Now get up, go to the pond and wash your face and hands and come back." In the meantime, Shrima would go to Thakur's room and arrange his bed. Some days, Shrima would take me to Thakur's room and instruct me on working there. In the early morning, usually Thakur would go to Baba Tarini, Kali's temple. Shrima would accomplish her daily work very quickly but flawlessly. She never liked any work done in a disorderly manner. In the beginning, I was not able to do any work in the proper way. Shrima taught me how to do work in an orderly way. Not only that, she would watch all of my actions. Shrima told me, "Look, Bobby, what is worship? Every piece of work is worship. Remember it. Women devotees perform all their work in the spirit of worship. Do you follow?" Shrima prescribed me to wash the hands first with Ganges water before I began to do any work. She would do the same and would also sprinkle Ganges water over our heads. To her, the Ganges water was the Brahma Bari, Brahman in the form of water. I became so habituated with that teaching that all through my life, before I would do any work, I wanted Brahma Bari. Thakur taught me a few tasks to do in the evening every day: to light an oil lamp at a place under the tree known as Gazipur, and to burn incense in Shrima's room, where Shrima would perform her daily worship and would sit for meditation in the evening regularly. The lady devotees who would be in Shrima's room in the evening would also sit for meditation around Shrima. I had my seat very close to her. I used to look at Shrima more than Thakur in awe. The combined effect of evening Vesper service in the temples, the chanting of the divine names of the Lord, Hari, being sung from Thakur's room, and the sparkling reflections of the light from the surface of the Ganges created a most spectacular and divine setting. A human being becomes a divine being in that atmosphere. Many of my reminiscences of that period of my life at Dakshineshwar were forgotten because I was too young, but I, to this day, remember vividly the nature of these divine events. Their divine impressions would not leave my mind.
So nice piece of meditation. We have name, thinking of name, thinking of form, thinking of divine sports, thinking of or meditation on the qualities. Meditation on form, name, qualities, and also divine sports. Just think what a wonderful life that Bhavatarini had when mother is instructing and she's sitting by her side and meditating. But she was wonderstruck by seeing mother more than Thakur Sri Ramakrishna. So it is wonderful. So how to teach even children? We can learn from mother. And how to work properly with proper order. So that these are the things, because each piece of work is worship. So this is the teaching of mother that we can think of. Now after this, we have Kathy Fradkin. She'll read from Mother of the Order. We have this Ramakrishna order. And when this association was formed, Swami Vivekananda declared that Sri Sharda Devi will be the mother of this order. And not only because of that, this order came because of her prayer. She went to Gaya, and there she saw prosperous monasteries. And she would weep to Thakur that my children are roaming here and there, but these people have enough to eat and even the place for stay. My children have no place. Even Mahapurush Maharaj and Brahmanandaji, all, they were roaming here and there, putting up under the tree, sleeping under the tree. There was no food. So mother's mind always thought about it and prayed to Thakur. And because of that, later Ramakrishna Mutt purchased the land near Belur. Now it is called Belur Mutt. So mother of the order, Kathy Fradkin. Kathy? Kathy, are you there?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Namaste. This passage is actually going to be from the spiritual administration chapter of the book entitled Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi by Swami Giripananda. And it has to do with her time in the order. One of my favorite excerpts about her lessons is about japa. So this is all around japa and her teachings around that. About the efficacy of japa, the mother once said, by japa and austerity is cut asunder the bondage of karma. Through them, the censors become subdued. On one day, she said, one should perform japa, meditation, and so on, at regular hours, giving no room for laziness. At other times, she declared, if one can repeat the mantra 15 to 20,000 times every day, then it should show results. Let him do that first. If it does not get success, let him come and say so. And no one has to be a little attentive. Do nothing and neglecting everything. They merely complain, why doesn't my japa bear fruit? Work you have to do as a matter of course. Work keeps the mind well, but japa, meditation, and prayer are especially needed. One should sit up at least once in the morning and once in the evening. This is like the helm of a boat. When one sits up for a while in the evening, there comes to one's mind for consideration what one has done throughout the day. Then one has to compare the state of mind one has today with one had yesterday. Then one should meditate on their own chosen deity as one goes to doing japa. How can you know if you're conducting yourself unless you have japa and meditation every morning and evening side by side with work? It's very necessary to have a fixed time for japa and meditation. Again, Holy Mother instructed certain advanced souls to have a constant remembrance of God. At the time of returning home in April 1919, after initiation, a certain devotee asked her, Mother, what's the secret? She pointed to a small timepiece and said, as that timepiece is ticking, so also go on repeating God's name. That will bring you everything. Nothing needs to be done other than that. In fact, japa occupied a very high place in her estimation. When instructing a gifted man about the path of knowledge, she might say now and then that japa or muttering is meant for women. You have your knowledge, but if we extend our search beyond such unusual utterances, we shall find her emphasizing the importance of japa again and again, and herself doing japa for the good of her disciples. Nevertheless, from a higher standpoint, she described japa as a mere mechanical process when she said, these mantras and the like are nothing, my daughter. Devotion is all. In the Master, you will find your guru and chosen deity. He is all. And drawing attention to divine grace, she said, you talk of having done so much japa and so much work, but nothing will avail. Who can achieve anything unless Mahamaya opens the way? O creatures, surrender yourself, just surrender yourselves. Then only she will be gracious and clear the way for you. To another devotee, she said, through japa and austerity, the bondage of karma is cut asunder, but God cannot be realized unless through love and devotion. Until one attains this attitude of surrender and this passionate love, no spiritual practice is to be neglected. Anyone aspiring to salvation must have recourse to one of these practices. A consideration of Mother's instructions about the various disciplines will impress this fact on us. One devotee began practicing the control of breath for about 3 hours a day, according to what he had read in the Raja Yoga of Swami Vivekananda. As a result, he began to have a buzzing sound in his ears, of which could not be cured. So he had to take leave from his office. On his visit to the Bilar Mat during his leave, he came to know of Holy Mother and proceeded to Jarumbati. As soon as he set foot in the village, his ailment left him. Afterwards, when he apprised the mother of his intention to practice yoga, she replied, "What energy have you stored up in your body, my boy? And what have you in your mind that you want to practice yoga?" "Have I no way, then?" asked the eager devotee. "I shall tell you whatever is to be done," assured the mother. After initiation, she instructed him to do japa twice daily. The devotee wanted to do it thrice and wished to know if anything more needed to be done. The mother repeated her instruction and said, "Twice daily," and concluded, "That's enough for all you want." "What should I do when on a journey?" inquired the disciple. "It will be enough if you think mentally," replied the mother. A monastic disciple asked her in Benares in January 1913, "I've been practicing the control of breath a little. Shall I continue it?" The mother replied, "You can do it just a little. It's no good heating the brain by too much practice of it, though. And if the mind settles down in its own accord, what need is there for the control of the breath?" This monk told the mother again at Kalpara, "I've been practicing asanas, postures, for some time for the sake of health. These postures help digestion and strengthen the vow of celibacy." The mother's instruction was, "You may practice after taking into consideration both sides of the question, namely, that the mind can become too much body consciousness, and the total giving up may ruin your health." This was her opinion about postures as resorted to for the sake of health. As for a suitable posture as a help of a long course of japa, she said, "Practice some sort of sitting posture, which will help you sit for 2 or 3 hours. When you feel if pins and needles are pricking your leg, you may change your position. In course of time, you will have no discomfort." She also urged her disciples the need for such practices as worship. When a devotee said, "Mother, we have no longer any liking for a stone image of Shiva," the mother said with surprise, "How is that so, my boy? What a number of great sinners are coming to Benares and getting redemption by touching Vishwaranatha. He's taking over everybody's body without demur." She also encouraged many to read the scriptural text regularly, as for instance, some 3 or 4 verses from the Gita every day. From an examination of the times and places of initiation, as also the persons receiving it, were forced to the conclusion that as the mother had her eyes riveted on one goal, that is the realization of God, she could not possibly allow mere outward circumstances to interfere with her inner conviction. Any good means by any enjoined by the scriptures or adopted for the time being out of sincere eagerness for excellence that appeared to her as subservient to the main objective, she adopted without hesitation and drew her disciples' attention to it. This view is substantiated by her directions to her disciples with regard to the social and religious customs of her everyday life.
Thank you, Kathy.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
To tell Japat Siddhi, Japat Siddhi, Japat Siddhi. That means perfection will come through Japam, repetition of the name of God. As the mother of the order, she must take care of her children so that they reach their final goal. So as a leader, we find leader is always uphold what is the goal of the order. So here mother taught the procedure, that is meditation and repetition of the name of God. And mother herself would do for children, but she always put importance so that we also do our might. So this is what we have heard from Kathy. Now we request Jane Harrison Honor to read from her life, Mother as Guru. Jane Ma?
Yes, I'm right here, Marlon.
Okay.
I'm drawing from a number of sources for this discussion. The primary one is Sri Sarda Devi and her Divine Play by Swami Chetanananda Maharaj. When asked, how does one recognize a qualified guru, Swami Aseshananda would reply with the recitation of the following criteria. Number 1, leads a pure and sinless life. Number 2, knows the essence of all the scriptures, their life being a living commentary of that. 3, imparts their teachings without ulterior motive. And finally, 4, not seeking devotees, not advertising, and not making a public display. The purpose of this reading today is to show how Holy Mother, through the recollections of those who knew her, fulfilled all such criteria. Ramakrishna said about Holy Mother, Sarda is an incarnation of Saraswati, the goddess of learning. She was born to bestow knowledge upon others. He transferred the results of his spiritual experiences to her and taught her various mantras relating to particular deities so that she could continue his spiritual ministry after his passing away. Swami Gambhirananda described how 3 aspects, goddess, guru, and mother, blended harmoniously in Holy Mother's life. Quote, whenever she appears to us as the mother, we get a glimpse of her inherent power of imparting that true knowledge that dispels all ignorance. And when we approach her as guru, she draws us to her lap as a mother, and then we recognize the mother and guru in her. We find her seated transcendently in her own divine effulgence. Holy Mother gave her first initiation in 1887, the year after Sri Ramakrishna's passing, to Yogan, later known as Swami Yogananda. He was her steadfast attendant on pilgrimage as well as Udbodhan House. Subsequently, she initiated a few select disciples between the years 1898 and 1909. Yet, from 1909 until her death in 1920, she initiated countless persons from multiple walks of life. In speaking of the difference between her disciples and the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, she remarked, quote, he accepted only a few select disciples, and that after various types of testing. Towards me, he has pushed a whole row of ants. An example of this selflessness as a guru is revealed in a recollection of Swami Garisharananda. Quote, one day in Jairambati, the mother was in terrible pain from her rheumatism. Despite her suffering, she addressed Ramakrishna, looking at his picture. Master, today has gone in vain. No one has come for initiation. You said that I would have to help people. End of quote. The next morning, 3 devotees arrived, and Holy Mother was happy to see them. They brought a letter from Swami Brahmananda requesting her to initiate them. When they bowed down to her, she realized that they had much bad karma and had committed many, many sins. So she refused to initiate them and asked them to go to Bellarmouth for initiation. The devotees left her for the time being. The mother then lamented, alas, Rakal has sent me this stuff. A son should generally send his mother good things. But the devotees were heartbroken. And again, they requested initiation from the mother. And again, she refused. Addressing the master and his picture, she cried, "O Lord, yesterday I prayed to you that I might not spend a day in vain. And now you have brought this to me. All right, as long as the body lasts, I shall continue to do your work." End of quote. Despite knowing the heavy toll on her body that absorbing their sins would entail, she relented and they received initiation. I guess this is an example of be careful what you wish for when you've got ultimate power. Holy Mother was not an ordinary guru who initiates with elaborate rituals and follows traditional methods. Her initiation was simple and short. She selected the chosen ideal, the deity, and gave the mantra associated with them. She showed the disciple how to count repetitions of the mantra on either their fingers or a rosary. I think this method is still being used, at least that's what I remember from initiation. Holy Mother, many of Swami Seshananda's disciples will remember the story of his query to Swami Sardananda, asking for a more complete method of performing japa. The elder Swami scolded Seshananda, saying, "You are the greatest fool. Holy Mother is the Divine Mother herself. All these methods and procedures are given by other teachers, but not Holy Mother. Whatever Holy Mother has given you is the last word in spiritual life." So what was that she said? The Holy Mother has said, the mantra purifies the body. One becomes pure by the repeating the name of God given by the Guru. She clarified the concerns of disciples on a variety of spiritual questions. To one who queried if the repetition of the mantra would truly help if the student lacks intense devotion, she replied, "Whether you jump into the water or are pushed, your cloth will be soaked, will it not?" When a brahmacharini, and this is the anecdote that was referred to by Kavita, asked Mother why she couldn't get sleep, and she said, "What can I do? All these children come to me, but most of them do not repeat the mantra regularly." So she said, "Therefore I do japa for their sake." Another seeker asked if worship, japa, and meditation really helped one to see God. Her quote was, "It is only through God's grace, but one must practice meditation and japa. They remove the impurities of the mind. One gets spiritual awakening by constantly thinking of God." Through these few examples, we can understand Holy Mother as a most qualified guru. Swami Seshananda, as her Diksha disciple, shared with us in January of 1990 how one has an eternal relationship with the Guru. He said, "Holy Mother appeared to me at the time of her passing away. She said, 'That body you are cremating is not my real body. My real body is always with you and is eternal.' Thank you."
Very good. Thank you. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Satchidananda alone is Guru. because human guru cannot redeem. Satchidananda comes in the form of human guru. So it is the divine power who descends through human guru. But here, just think about it. Mother of the universe is our guru, who is imparting wisdom. So this is those who are fortunate, they received mantra from mother. And as we have heard, mother used to refuse none. She would initiate all. Rather, she would think the day has gone in vain if nobody has come. It is to show that how compassionate she was. Not that she displayed this, but this is the inner feeling of mother. Always the attitude of giving. So it is a great life. So we should contemplate on mother's life. Now we are coming to the last leg, and now we have Jyotima to read from her life and centering the idea that mother of all, Holy Mother was mother of all. Jyotima.
Namaste, everyone. I have taken some excerpts from reminiscences of Sri Sharda Devi written by, this was originally compiled in Bengali by Swami Purnatmananda, and it's translated to English by Maluti Singh. So we know how Ramakrishna used to say, I have practiced 16 annas of truth. And if you practice even 16th of it, you will realize God. Such an extreme levels of truth that Sri Ramakrishna practiced, that even if a thought passed in his mind that I will go to Panchavati, he used to walk to Panchavati. And what Sri Ramakrishna says about mother is what I will start. Master had stated to us on several occasions, the mother who is in the Kali temple is the mother who dwells within this, pointing to his body. And the very same mother dwells by my side, and with this he meant, we were not interested in ascertaining what prompted the master to make such an assertion, nor did we make any attempt in that direction. All that we know is the master made such an assertion. So master is telling that that supreme that is there in that statue in the Dakshineshwar temple, that very same supreme is sporting this body, and that very supreme is now playing in the form of Holy Mother. Mahamaya herself, benefit of living beings, to understand the divine play in human form is difficult indeed. Understand it unless she, in her compassion, makes it intelligible to us. What a commonplace life she led. And we can see that that her everyday life, how it used to be. What a commonplace life she led. How well concealed in disguise, as it were. Here where it meant fashion, people will know that. And so I'll go over to the reminiscences of Swami Swami Hari Premananda. So it so happened that Radhu, she was suffering from a serious ailment, and she was reduced to skin and bones, and she could not even speak. And so tells Hari, let's take her to Bankura. Vaikuntha is there. So Vaikuntha is Swami Maheshwarananji Maharaj. He was. So Holy Mother tells this Swami Hari Premananda, saying, Hari, let us take her Swami Maheshwarananda. So in Bankura ashram, they did not have a guest house place or anything, so they rented. So now I'm reading what Swami Hari Premananda has reminiscence. We rented a place on Feeder Road, which had 2 rooms. The patient occupied one, mother and I the other. The treatment began. One evening, after Dr. Maharaj, that is Swami Maheshwarananda, had examined the patient and mother was sitting on a stool. On an impulse, I began to massage her feet. They were so thin and shriveled. Mother at that time had wasted away physically. As my hands passed over her feet, suddenly a doubt arose. So a doubt arose in Swami Maheshwarananda's mind. Was Mother truly the mother of the universe? Would the mother of the universe have such emaciated feet? Meant out, I stroking her feet silently. Gradually, I came to feel that the feet were certainly not those of an old woman. They were the well-formed feet of a young woman. In the light of a nearby lantern, I clearly saw 2 incomparably beautiful feet with alta bordering them. So alta is that red color they put in the feet. The feet look beautiful. One moment. I clearly saw 2 incomparably beautiful feet with alta bordering them, nails enhancing the beauty, the close-set rounded toes, gold anklets and precious stones adorned the feet. Whose feet had I been tending? Speechless with wonder, I tried to fix his face. I saw the image of Jagadhatri with golden hue, 3 eyes, 4 arms, decked with numerous ornaments. There was a crown on her head and weapons in her hands. A sublime effort radiated from her. Before I had a good look, I cried out, "Mother, Mother," and lost consciousness. How long I remained in that state, I can't say. When I regained consciousness, I found Mother back and saying, "Hari, oh Hari, what has come upon you? Get up, get up." I sat up. I saw Mother, old and thin, sitting with her gaze fixed upon me. This then was Mother, Mother of the universe, Sarda Mani. The concert of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna in his divine play. Glory to the Mother, glory to the Mother.
Thank you, Jyotima. So it's a beautiful reading by all. So Divine Mother, Sri Sharda Devi, the Holy Mother as we call, Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, her life is wonderful. We are to read her life, if possible, daily. If not possible, at least occasionally. And try to imbibe those teachings. Teachings are very important. As Mother said, I tell you one thing. If you want peace, do not find fault with others. Rather, see your own faults. Learn to make the whole world your own. No one is a stranger. No one is an alien. My child, the whole world is your own. So this is the highest state of mind when one feels that this whole world is one with the Supreme. So not to hate anyone, rather we are to pray for everyone. We are not to find faults. That will lead us. That will lead us to have a life of fulfillment. When a man sees defects in others, his own mind first gets polluted, what does he gain by finding faults in others? He only hurts himself by that. And mother felt this. It is not that she only taught. For her, all were her children. Once a devotee asked, Mother, you say all your children. Is Thakur your son? Mother say yes. So even Sri Ramakrishna, mother saw in Sri Ramakrishna that he was her son. Even Gangaram that we have heard. Gangaram also part of household, and not only that, it was her son. Similarly, even crows, mad people, they would come. One day mother was sitting and was thinking, and it was raining, pouring in. And mother thought of a crazy man. He would come any time. So mother said, let him not come. And lo and behold, that man came with a with a leaf on his head. So it was wonderful life, and how mother embraced all as her children. So this is very important. When all teachers are one, the same power of God works through them all. I am your true mother, a mother not by virtue of being your guru's wife, not by way of empty talk, but truly the mother. It is not Guru Patni, the wife of Guru, or Patanuma. Patanuma means just we say mother, not like that, real mother. The mother is a real mother. I am the mother of the virtuous as well as the wicked. Like Sri Ramakrishna would not even stand them. Even touching is far, far away. But Holy Mother took them all. If my son wallows in the dust or mud, it is I who have to wipe all the dirt and take him on my lap. My son, if a thorn pricks your foot, it hurts me like a spear entering my heart. Never fear. And whenever you are in distress, just say to yourself, I have a mother. Great assurance. Just think, whenever you are in distress, think that I have a mother. That's a great assurance. So, we have celebrated the birth anniversary of Holy Mother. Now, this is our offering at the feet of Mother. We pray to her to bestow love and peace and tranquility, also love for all, so that our life is fulfilled. So thank you very much for participating. It's a wonderful, though outside it's very cold, but let us have the warmth of the affection of Mother and fulfill our life. Thank you very much. Thank you. We say, yeah, Mother will sing. Have a small song. Go ahead. And we conclude. Thank you all. Jyotima. Today all ladies. Jyotima, you're muted.
Yes, Swamiji. I'm going to share.
Any song?
Where's the- One moment. It's the Zoom call. able to see? One moment, Swamiji, I'm opening my harmonium.
Battery 100%. Connected to iPhone 6.
Shrivalli Chedava Jayati Shri Bhuvaneshwari Rupa Mahamona Shwara Vishwadhari Vishwapralaya Karini Vishwachakre Shri Vimojani Jayati Shri Bhuvaneshwari Swarupa Mahamona Nadasvandari Mari Jayati Shri Vallidabha Jayati Shri Bhuvaneshwari Jaya Vardhani Shita Sukha Mauna Vidya Jayati Shri Bhuvaneshwari Swarupa Mahamona Nadasvandari Mari Jayati Shri Valli Chedava Bhuvaneshwari Sukta Mantrahita Sushumna Pathagamini Shiva Yogeshwari Sudha Sandhi Jayati Bhuvaneshwari Swarupa Mahamona Namandari Mari Jayati Shri Mani Chidava Jayati Shri Bhuvaneshwari Swarupa Mahamona Nadasvandari Mari
Mataji, she's someone all can see. So gently love us all, yet knows our faults. Mataji, your name is all to me. Your eyes reveal that love is all. All that God is our own. He is our very own. The Lord is our own, and we must realize it's true. Our Master lives in you and helps us with His grace and strength. God is our own. He is our very own. The Lord is our own, and we must realize it's true. Mataji, please wake me, Mataji, and take me home with you alone. With you. Purnat Purnamudachyati Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyati. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Namaste, Swami.
Namaste.
Pranam Swamiji.
Namaste, Swamiji. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma Swami.
Jai Ma.
Thank you. Bye.